Welcome back to another video. This is a bit of a weird one, this, because I was just sorting out my gear shelf in the corner of my office and I thought this would make quite a good video. So it's going to be a bit ad lib on the spot, but this video is about stuff that you accumulate as a photographer, videographer, creative, someone like me, someone like you, and stuff you don't need. So I've accumulated so much stuff over the years. Everything. I've pretty much bought everything. And this video is about things that I think you don't need to buy, that have just sat here, cost me hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and sat here on the shelf for years and years collecting dust. Oh, please excuse the mess. Sometimes when you're busy, it just ends up turning into an absolute state. But there's so much stuff in these things that I don't need. So we're going to start diving into all of this nonsense, and I'm going to pick out some bits that I think you don't need and you don't need to waste your money on. We'll get onto this in a minute. Nonsense. I suppose it works. Maybe this wasn't such a bad idea. It does do a job, I suppose. That. I don't even know what this is. Like I don't know. It must be some sort of camera mount thing. I don't know why I bought it. Right, that'll do. This is so on the fly. I haven't even set up a decent light or anything. Actually, it's not too bad. There's the windows here. I've got some nice like white curtains and it's not too bad. Looks alright. We could do with a light on in the background. That'll do. Simple. Let's just turn the brightness down a little bit. There we go. So when I restarted up my YouTube channel, I wanted to just make things a little bit more on the fly, because sometimes you just get a good idea and I think it's worth filming. Sometimes it doesn't have to be super professional and look really good, so we'll just roll with it. Let's see what happens. So over the years I've bought loads of stuff, like tons of stuff. Now it's my business as well. Sometimes I think, oh, I need to get that, or I should get that because it'd be really good to have, and it ends up collecting dust on the shelf. So there's some things here that I've pulled off my shelf to just show you guys that I don't think you really need it. It's nice to have. Some things are nice to have, but I don't think you need it. And there's better things to be spending your money on, I think, because this stuff's expensive. Like photography and videography is well expensive, like I'm sure you guys know. So you don't really want to waste your money, especially in today's day and age. But I've wasted some money, so yeah, take what you will from it, but maybe don't waste yours on stuff like this, because yeah, sometimes you don't need half this stuff. So in no particular order, I'm just going to pick up some bits and show you them, talk about them, and explain why I don't think you need them. Now, this is, you might have seen it, if you're a videographer or if you like video, if you own an FX3 or a cinema camera, or, well actually they make them for all sorts of cameras now. This is what's called a cineback. Now this isn't actually a cineback, this is a knockoff Chinese one, because I couldn't afford the real one because it's really expensive. But this was still about 120 quid, 150 quid, something like that. And it's basically, you mount your camera in it, you mount your FX3 in it. I do it, but I'm filming on it now. But you mount it in here. You put a V-mount battery on the back. I've got one here. So clips on the back like that. And then your camera goes in here and you can rig it out. And you can have a top handle on it, nice base plate on it, rails to a focus motor if you wanted to. The list goes on and on and on. Mount monitors to it, and it can just be rigged out to basically be like an FX6 or a big run and gun handheld rig, because the main reason you'd rig out a camera with something like this is to get rid of like micro jitters and stabilization things, and handheld footage looks really good, and when you put a camera onto something like this and add weight to it, handheld footage does look really good. It does look really good, and I like shooting handheld, and I have a separate little rig which I'll talk about here for my handheld stuff. But this is more about this unit here, this cineback. It just, I mean, it's quite clever. You can put the battery on the back. There's a little on-off switch here, and you can turn everything on or off at once. But it's really faffy because you have to mount the camera in it. And if you wanted to go between handheld footage and then putting it on a gimbal and then back to handheld footage and then put it on a gimbal and then to a tripod, and you have to mess around. So you either have to have 2 FX3s or 2 cameras on the go at once, or you come up with a different idea, which is what I've done here. And it kind of makes this a little bit redundant. It looks good. It looks great, but so it just seems one of those redundant things that just sits around collecting dust. So when I bought that cineback knockoff, it was great to start off with. I used it on a couple of projects and stuff, but then I soon realized like it had hindrances, and it's been able to just change between being on a gimbal and handheld and stuff like that. And at the time I didn't have 3 cameras, so it was being able to move around was always complex. So I was always having to unscrew those screws to put it on a gimbal, rebalance the gimbal. Oh no, I need to go back to handheld stuff or tripod stuff. So I came up with this little invention, and this is essentially the same thing, but it's got a quick release on it, an Arca Swiss plate, quick release. So all of my cameras have like an L bracket on it, or a cage, or an Arca Swiss like cage on it basically. So all of my cameras can just go on this. It's got a lens mount on the front for any bigger lenses, and it can come off if I want to really quickly, just like that. It is on rails. It's an Arca Swiss plate on the bottom, and a little like camera support thing, and I've mounted an Arca Swiss plate on the top. So this is super quick now. So all I have to do is undo this little clamp here, and I can put it straight onto a gimbal. So I don't need to carry lots of gear around. I can still shoot handheld if I want to. Oh, that reminds me, there is something that goes on the back of this. There is, I'll grab it. Thought there was something missing. And this is basically, essentially, it is the same thing, albeit this is made up of specific parts. So this goes on the back like so, and now this is my base plate for my V-mount battery. So the V-mount goes on the back just here, like that, and my camera goes in here, and now I've got this tiny little clamp here that I can take it on and off and use handheld rig if I want to. I can put a little handle on there as well, and then go straight over to a gimbal. So this is something that I made up, and I think this is a much better way to go than down the cineback route. Let's move that out the way. Oh, this is like, I've bought so much small rig stuff. I don't actually know what this is. I was just saying earlier on, I think it's like a base plate for a camera that you can put rails, see little holes, you can put rails on it, but I don't know where you'd use it, and it's not very big. I actually don't know what it is. If anyone wants it, drop me a message, drop me a little comment, and you can have it, because I don't know what it is. This is another thing that I thought would be a really good idea, but I've used it once, and it was when I got it, and it's lived in a drawer or over there in a box ever since. And it's a manual focus puller. Now, you mount it to a rail, a bit like what I just showed you there, and you can attach it to a lens or a cinema lens, or you can put these like little rubber things on a lens, and you can manually focus your lenses. So a reason why you'd want to do that is sometimes, like autofocus, if you see, sometimes it can pull, and you see the background here, it like, you get that breathing. Sometimes with videos, sometimes you don't want that. So you want to manually move it yourself. You don't want that hunt and that shift, because it can be quite jarring sometimes. It's not just about like focus throw like this. It's more about like the hunt, when autofocus is hunting backwards and forwards. And it looks more cinematic, manually focusing. Like all the cine primes and stuff like that, it's all manual focus. Everyone shoots manual focus when you're shooting film and stuff like that. And it's an avenue I always really wanted to go down, and it's an avenue I still do go down. Sometimes my work does go down that way. But this is something I've never used. It just, I think it was like £100 as well. It's brand new, and it's been used once, and it's great. The gears feel really good. It looks great, but it's just something else to worry about. And when you're filming, like my sort of work is on the fly. It's not it's not like set up specific shots, 3, 2, 1 action and things like that. It's more on the fly sort of run and gun style work. So I never really have a need for anything like this. Let me know down in the comments if you've got one of these and you've ever used it, because I'd love to know how and why and where you have done, because I don't really have a need for this. So moving on, audio is a really important thing. That is one thing I've learned over the last sort of 5 years of doing video. Maybe when I first started YouTube, like sort of 6, 7 years ago, I had a few like cheap microphones. I actually still have the original microphone just down there where I used to film all my YouTube stuff with. But over the years of like working with people and working with specific clients and stuff like that, audio is absolute paramount. It's so important. And you can be like, again, it's super expensive to buy all this stuff. So there are cheaper alternatives to everything, but if I have one bit of advice, especially for videographers and filmmakers, don't cut corners with audio. Get yourself a really good mic. So on this camera now, you are on a Sennheiser MKE 600, and it's a sort of middle of the range sort of microphone, but it's really good. It's directional, it's super articulate, it picks up everything and it sounds really good. And you can boom it on a pole if you're doing interviews. You can use it for run and gun style stuff like this. It's just really good, and I use it all the time. It can be used with XLRs, it can be used by 3.5mm jacks. You can use it on lots of different applications. It's really good. So one thing I have done over the years is buy loads of different microphones, and this is one of them. It's a Comica microphone. I think I paid like £100 or something for it, and it's okay. When you put it side by side with something like this, you realize how good audio can be. It's probably been used like sort of once or twice, because it's just, it was like, yeah, do you know what I mean? It's just like, meh, I want more bass, I want more frequency, I need more articulation, I need more from it. So what is that answer? And then this microphone was the answer to those questions. And this one's been sat around for probably 3 years on my shelf. It's a good microphone. It's got everything in it for, you know, the wind muff and the dead cat. It's got everything you'd want to get going. So maybe it'll be good for someone sort of like starting out into filmmaking and video. But if you're doing it sort of professionally, you want that sort of next thing. So if you're after this, I'd let it go. Drop me an offer. It is a Comica VM20. Look it up. I can't remember how much it was. Probably about 100 quid, but someone can have it. 50 quid or something. This is turning into a bit of an auction, this. Moving on to, see, I really like these. And, right, so these are anamorphic lenses. I've got two. I've got two Siri. I think they're called the Venus Anamorphic 1.6 squeeze, and they got blue flare. They look amazing, but it's a bit gimmicky. It's a bit like I don't know. It's something I'm not going to need really with my work. They're really heavy. They're fully manual, so you've got a manual aperture on here, and you've got a manual focus. And they're beautifully made. It feels great, but they're like brand new. They've been used like once, and it wasn't for any client work. It was just for some fun. I was filming my bike, my Harley, and I was filming Max's truck. A friend of mine's got a nice big Ford Raptor, and we were filming that at sunset. And I've also done some filming with these with Primrose running through like a cornfield last summer or something. But they've been sat up on the shelf collecting dust for like the last 7 or 8 months, and I've not used them. And I was thinking about getting rid of them, but MPB were offering like 200 quid each, so it's almost one of these things that's like, I may as well keep hold of it, because, you know, I could have some fun with them one day. They're not worth getting rid of, because you're not going to get much money for them. They're not much money in the first place. They're like 400 or 500 quid or so, but they don't really, like, what I'm basically saying is go and try some really before you go and buy these. They are a very, very particular sort of tool, and unless you're shooting anamorphic films and stuff like that and you want that particular look, there's no need for things like this. So maybe don't waste your money on them. Come and try mine if you want to try mine. But yeah, they're cool, but meh. Do you know what I mean? Meh. this is a bit of a funny one because I love drones. I think they're great. They've got a really good like niche and need sometimes, like for like setting scenes in YouTube videos and stuff like this. Really, really good. They're massive to lug around. Like, I don't want to carry this around. I don't want to put it in my bag. It's huge. So it kind of just gets left on the shelf. This is the Mini 3 Pro, I think. Yeah, it is. I have crashed this twice actually. But it's not something I'm going to get rid of, but it's not something I'm going to upgrade because my work doesn't really need it. They're a nice thing to have, but with like rules and regulations, and they're cracking down on that all the time. They just become like not as needed anymore. And I think that sort of like, you know, like sort of 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was like everyone had to drone everything and there was just drone stuff everywhere. But I think that's sort of like gone away now. It's sort of like faded away. You know what I mean? They have a need, but it's not something I use all the time, and it sits around not doing a lot. I took it to Norway. I actually took it to Norway, and I was thinking to myself, oh, brilliant. I can take my drone. I'm going to be flying it there all the time. It's my first time in Lofoten. It was absolutely gorgeous. And every time I put the drone up, I was like, wow, this looks incredible. We've got back. I've edited all my photos. I've edited my video clips. I've looked at all the drone stuff, and I've just gone, just don't want to share it. It's just not like, it's not part of my work and what I do. Nice if you're telling a story, setting a scene, like I said, but it's expensive. They're a lot of money. They're like £1,000 or upwards, £2,000 for a really good one. So think twice before you buy one. I'm sure there are people out there watching this video right now that have got one on the shelf and it hasn't been up in the air for like a year. Just, yeah, think twice before you buy one. It's good. It has a need. It's a very specific need. Do you need to do it? Do you need one? Maybe, maybe not. Lastly, this is a funny one. This is the Nissi C5 matte box. Now for the videographers out there, this might seem like why is Ben saying that? Because that's a really cool bit of kit. And it is a cool bit of kit, don't get me wrong. And I have used it, but only because I've like wanted to use it, not because I've needed to use it. And it's one of those things that it looks great. Like, you put this on front of your camera, you look like you know what you're doing. If you get what I'm saying, it's one of those. It's one of those where you can charge more money. Where you, and it is that sort of like, it does have that effect. I've had it in the past where I've rigged out my camera, great big handheld rig, gone to a shoot, this, that, and the other, and people have gone, "Wow, what is that? What camera is that?" And it's like, it's just an FX3. It's just rigged out. And it looks the business. They do have very specific needs, and like where you would go, right, I need a matte box for this. And for me and my work and what I do, I've been saying this a lot, but it's not really something I need to do. Like, obviously I need NDs. I need a variable ND for video work. Need a polarizer, sometimes need mist filters, and this has all of these. Like, you can put in all sorts of different filters. You can put in polarizers and NDs in the top. You can put mist filters and all sorts of like blue flare filters and stuff like that. And then you have the hood on the front as well, which is detachable. So, you know, there's that, so you can not have flare and stuff like that. It depends where you're shooting and what you're shooting. It tends to be something that sits around on the shelf. Partly because I just don't really need it in my like day-to-day work. Secondly, it takes up loads of space in your bag or your flight case or your pelly case or something like that. It's not something I'm going to get rid of because I will use it again. Like, I know I'll use it again. There will be times where I will need to do it, whether it be like run and gun sort of outside style video shoots where I don't want any flare on the lens and we need to use the lens hood, or I want to rig out my camera, or I want it to look good in front of like a high paying client or something like that. And that's the sad reality, and a lot of people don't really tell you that. They'll give you like 10 other reasons why these are really good, and there are other reasons why these are really good, don't get me wrong, but one of the biggest reasons is, and people don't want to admit it, is it makes you look a lot more professional, and it is that sort of like placebo effect. It's a funny one, it is a strange one, but I don't think you need it, really. I think you can get away with using like the Nissi jet mag system, getting one of the NDs, the variable NDs and mist filters. It would save you a lot more money. They still look good. They're a lot easier to use. They take up a lot less space in your bag, and you don't need to carry around this massive matte box. So I hope you've got something from this video. I wonder if there's anybody out there that has got loads of stuff or accumulated loads of stuff like I have. Looking at it now, I'm still looking at loads of stuff over there. I'm sure there's so much more bits and bobs that I've bought over the years that I just don't need and is over there collecting dust. So I'm having a bit of a spring clean because it's feeling very springy at the moment, and I'm feeling a bit like, you know, though you get that sort of like wave come over you where you have to start painting the house and stuff like that. It's a bit like that. So I'm having a bit of a clear out and thinking, do I need this? Do I need that? And I thought it would be quite funny for you guys to look at some of the stuff that I have and don't need, and whether you need it or not. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do consider clicking subscribe below. Give us a like. Tell us what you think down in the comments. Tell us if you've got a load of nonsense that I have, and I will see you guys in the next one.